I used to think my beats hit really hard, but in reality, they sounded like this. Now, don't get me wrong, that sounds pretty good, but let's just be honest, this sounds way better. And that's the difference that a good master chain can make. Now, for the longest time, I had no idea what mastering even was. So for the past week, I've been studying the art of mastering using only stock FL plugins. I've come up with my own little chain that personally works for me, and I'm just gonna go through each plugin, explain the purpose of it, why it's there, and if you stick around to the end, I got a little surprise for you. So let's just hop right into it. All right, let's just get another listen at the difference between the master chain being on and the master chain being off. Just a lot clearer, a lot less muddy. You can hear all the instruments, and overall, it's just way better. So let's just go one by one through each plugin so you can hear the effects that they have. So the very first plugin we start off with is an EQ, and all this is doing is cutting the super low frequencies at around 30 hertz and below, as well as the super high frequencies at around 17k hertz and above. These frequencies you really can't even hear, and all they actually do is muddy up your mix. So just get rid of them. You don't need them. Your speakers will thank you if you do this. All right. So the next plugin that we got in the chain is another parametric EQ. And this is just to boost some of the mid frequencies that I like. I like to use a nice wide band here. Usually what I'll do is I'll just grab one of these, say this one, and I'll just sweep it across as the beat is playing until I like what I see here something I like. So let's just put this back to where it was. A lot of times I find myself boosting the mids and the high mids, things like that. Perfect. All right. Now the next plugin we got is another EQ. And this EQ is literally the exact opposite of the previous EQ. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm taking out the frequencies that I don't like. So the first EQ, boost the frequencies that you do like. Second EQ, take away the ones that you don't want to hear. Just kind of cleans up the mud a little bit, you know. This next plugin is a patcher preset, and this thing is a lifesaver. So it is actually here it is, the mid-side EQ, and you're just gonna go ahead and hit that. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna split the sides, so the sides of the song with the middle of the song. So everything that's in stereo is gonna go into this EQ, and everything that's in the mids is gonna go through this bottom EQ. And pretty much what you want to do is, it's already pretty good, but you see how there's a little bit of kick coming through in the sides. You just want to go ahead and get rid of that. So we can just high pass this and just kind of cut it out, because you do not want any low end on the sides. So this looks pretty good to me. Next plugin, probably one of my favorites, is Maximus multi-band compression. So if you don't know what compression is, I'll make a video on it soon, but pretty much all that you're doing is you're taking the waveform and you're taking the loudest parts and the quietest parts and you're bringing them closer together. And it just makes it easier to listen to, and you can hear all the individual parts without little peaks coming through. If we solo the low end, you can see how much the kick is peeking through on this little frequency spectrum. So if you just grab this little point right here and lower it down, you'll see this little red bar, and you just kind of want to chop the peaks right off. Just kind of chop the peaks right off. And then you just go through and do that for each of the sections, the mids, the high end. And you can do a little bit of master compression if you'd like, but it's definitely not necessary. All right. So I like the way that sounds. It's another patcher preset. And all it is I've taken a frequency splitter and I've split the low end, the mids, and the highs. I take the mids and I take the highs and I just send them through a little bit of distortion. Usually it's pretty subtle. I like that though. Nice, nice. That just adds a little bit more fullness to the body of your track. The next plugin is another parametric EQ2, and this one is just for final cuts and final boosts. Usually this one I don't even touch, but it's always nice to grab a band and just start sweeping it. I think it's good though. I don't think it needs anything, so we're just gonna leave that. These next two plugins kind of go hand in hand. So we got the Fruity Balance as well as the Fruity Soft Flipper. Now for my Fruity Soft Flipper, I have the threshold set at about -1.1, and then the post gain at about 89%. And pretty much what I do with these two plugins is I'll hop into this Fruity Balance here, turn it down a little bit, and then I just boost this volume knob until I hear a little bit of distortion. And then I back off a little bit, and that's gonna give you that nice perceived loudness through the distorting of the track. But distortion is not a bad thing. Sometimes it actually sounds pretty good. So let's just boost this and see what we can do. Boom, right there. Perfect. And the very last plugin that I got, it's just a wave candy. And all that this is a visualizer. So we're just gonna go ahead and take this down, give ourselves a little bit of headroom. All right, so that's the master chain. And just for you guys, I actually have created a mixer preset that you guys can get for free in the description. No email or nothing. You'll get the free mixer preset as well as a PDF document, kind of just going through the plugins in more detail. So that's how I master my beats. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.